Though I used to be someone that used to love to go to the gym, I wasn't able to get back to the gym after having 3 kids. Put on some weight. So this is me. And I had to find a different way, a way I felt comfortable, a healthy approach to fitness, nutrition, and just getting back to a healthy lifestyle without dieting, without restrictions, something I felt good sharing with my children. So I turned to what my husband, Phil, was doing, which were Beachbody programs. He was seeing great results. I decided I would give it a shot. I wasn't someone that believed in home workouts. I really thought you had to go to the gym to get great results. And I was surprised. After my first 2 cycles with a program called T25, I lost 25 pounds. And at that time, people were asking me, friends, family were asking me, what have you been doing? I want to do the same thing. So at that point, Phil and I looked at each other and decided, why not jump in and pay it forward and sign up to be coaches. So that's how I got started with the coaching opportunity. That was 6 years ago. I celebrated my 6-year anniversary on October 27th, and I haven't looked back since.
Gained over 100 pounds during my pregnancies. And I didn't really feel comfortable in my skin. Obviously, I'd always been tinier growing up and in high school, and I never really struggled to keep weight off. So this was a huge change for me, having all this weight to lose. So I turned to things that weren't necessarily the healthiest, but they were easy and it was fast. So I did end up losing the weight from my pregnancies. Fast forward another 10, 11 years, when my youngest was 11, life happens and moms get busy, and my husband had become very, very ill and had been ill for about 4 years at that time. And we had two retail toy stores, and I kept putting myself last, and somehow I ended up gaining 42 pounds. I was miserable. I felt like I was the crabby mom, and it's just not something that I wanted to hand off to my kids. This negative talk about myself, negative self-image, my negative thoughts about food. So I wanted something different for my kids. My youngest was 11. She 2 girls, and even for the boys. But my daughter Gemma was starting high school, and I just didn't want that for them, the way I had struggled and what I had done to lose weight. So I had turned to my friend Manon, got started with my first 21-day program. Had zero intention on coaching. I actually signed up for the discount only. We had amazing results. I ended up losing 42 pounds. My husband ended up losing about 80 pounds, and his physical ailments went away. He no longer suffers from high blood pressure, from migraines, from IBS, from anxiety. So we decided we wanted to continue with the product and fuel our bodies properly. And that is why I signed up with a discount. And that is how I ended up coaching. It was a little bit by accident, but I'm so happy that I did, because I think we're going to go into our coaching stories a little bit later. But I am so glad that I did. I first did it for me and for a discount, and it turned into this wonderful opportunity that I'm happy to share with my family. I'm happy to share with my friends, and I'm happy to share with you tonight.
Excited to tell you about my story. It is similar a little bit. We do have different stories, but you'll notice some similarity in everyone's story a little bit. For myself, whenever I was growing up, I wasn't that big, but I did have a mother who was very large. I would go as far as saying obese, and because of that, she had a hard time growing up, in the sense that people would pick on her. So when she had us, she was very, very nervous that we would grow up and gain weight and go through the same struggles that she had. So she was always very conscious of us, what we were eating, and always telling us to be careful what we were eating. And of course, she was doing this with all good intention. But unfortunately, when you're being told all the time to watch everything you eat and to try to stay thin, because that was the idea of what healthy was when I was growing up, I obsessed over it a lot. So it became to a point where I was in high school and I was always doing aerobics, excessively exercising. I wasn't active in sports, but exercising and aerobics were my thing. And I would do every single fad diet that came my way, because I was afraid when I would gain a pound or two. So those things did work. Basically whenever I was younger, but unfortunately it never lasts. But I never had a lot to lose at that point. But when I got a little bit older and had my children, I'm a mom of 3, I gained about 65 pounds for my first pregnancy and around a little bit less for the others. But I had a really hard time keeping the weight off. And again, I went back into fad diet. So the things that I was doing was extremely unhealthy. I was damaging my body. It wasn't just foods I was eating, I was taking pills. And unfortunately, because I was trying to rid food out of my system so I could stay thin, it damaged my I'll pretty much say it damaged my colon, in the sense that I had a hard time going to the washroom without laxatives and things like that, because of the pills that I was taking. So because I was always doing fad diets, one day I saw something cross my path on Facebook, someone I didn't even know, and they were talking about a solution that was out there, and I decided to just reach out and see what that was all about. I figured I tried everything up till now, I might as well try this too. And when I did, I was very surprised, because what I thought I was getting into was a quick solution where someone would give me a diet that I would do for a couple of weeks, and I would lose some weight, I would get rid of certain foods, and everything would be just like it was before. But surprisingly, it was completely different. And the big difference was there was this community that backed up these products and the systems that were there to support me. And I realized that there was more and more people out there like me. So I continued on with it, and it helped me. The big thing that it helped me do was change my mindset. The products that I was taking helped nourish my body and change so that I didn't have to take pills anymore to go to the bathroom because of the damage that I've done. And those things were amazing. So as I was doing this, my kids were learning a little bit more about what I was doing. They were seeing that I wasn't on a diet anymore. I was eating foods that I hadn't eaten before. Like I would have treats with dessert, and my children would look at me like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're eating that. How can you eat that? You don't eat those things." And I was like, "Oh my goodness," I had changed the way I had made my kids kind of turn into what I had grown up doing. And that was not enjoying all the foods and being afraid to eat things. So with the programs, basically, I learned a lot about nutrition, and I got my kids involved. So that was the big takeaway for me, is that I was able to change my mindset over a period of time and have my kids look at nutrition in a different way, and hoping that their future will continue in that sense with the better mindset on nutrition. And pretty much like Kim, I wasn't interested in coaching, but whenever I got introduced to the products, I loved them so much that I definitely wanted to get the discount. And once I did get the discount, I realized that I was showing other people around me this amazing stuff, and I figured, why not jump in and keep sharing it?